All right, first tendency, not getting through and finishing. So just getting here, stopping, you'll notice the back foot stops, and they're just out here in no man's land. Nothing behind it. Yeah, this is one of my 8-year-olds, same thing. Like, especially when it comes to flips, just let them go through the ball. Go through it. For some kids, it's going to be telling them just as simple as right shoelaces, back shoelaces towards the pitcher. Should help them get unhooked there. Let them finish. Finish over your shoulder, back here, belt buckle towards your target. That's for kids who kind of get here and stop and don't finish over the back. All right, rolling over. This part, the last few months, I've really started telling kids to roll their wrists over. Now, the main thing for that is two types of people, supinators and pronators. Supinators, really, I'm a supinator, so my whole life I was palm up, palm down, a little bit back of my swings. I'd get here, then cut myself off big time. If somebody accidentally would have told me just try rolling their wrists, I had swings like that sometimes, where my extension was here, and it starts, rather than getting here and then coming this way, I was able to stay through the ball a lot better. And then you'll be able to tell with those kids where they're just getting a lot of end cap. A lot of end cap, a lot of ball like spinners to the opposite way. And then you can see it in their swing too. Kind of finishing like that, if it doesn't look comfortable. If you have somebody in mind, maybe try to think about that. So like for me, that definitely should not look comfortable. I just say, roll your wrist, works just about every time. That should look a lot better. Sorry. Yeah, deepen it up. But a lot, visually you should be able to see it. And rolling over the wrist is different than rolling over the ball. When they roll over the ball, it's a lot of congestion in here, which gets the wrist to flip over, yes. But with this type of, like just saying roll the wrist over, you should be able to see them, have them get in this position pretty easy. Or there's guys who can do this pretty easy. So if you don't know if you see them cutting off quite a bit, just and they're not getting their wrist over, just try roll your wrist. Especially off the tee, off flips. Off flips, I see it in batting practice with those types of hitters. It's like 50-50 with palm up, palm down, and then rolling over. They just miss under a lot because they're here, as opposed to kind of here a little bit stronger for them with their wrist action to be able to go through the ball. Drill-wise, at that. With going back to the finish part, a lot of kids want to stay pretty far open. The drill that just about everybody can do. A little bit wider with their feet, and going back, tell them, push your feet away, hands should be back, and then from here, nothing back, no load. They're trying to keep their feet planted. From here, just let the upper body work, and see if they can keep that backside planted. Or like backside planted, just so they anchor a little bit longer with their back foot. Because when it comes up too early, it takes the bat out of the zone and affects a lot of different things. But there you'll be able to see it where they just get over-rotated. Try this drill, where you really see their hips fly open and the back just lagging back behind. This is a good drill to really let them feel it's okay to let your upper body go first, especially for these drills. Get here, because then the hip's still turning. Hip's still turning, knees still back here. But in real speed, it'll all come together. But it's just a synchronizing of things. Especially with when you have a lot of rollovers, pull side, and like soft pop-ups, right field, first base. the opposite side, this is a really good drill because going back to that synchronizing part, a lot of kids want to go hips first, but some people need upper body first to just get better timing. Right shoulder, right hip still, to be able to get the bat to the ball a little bit easier. Does that make sense? A little bit.
Yeah, one thing about rolling over, I find a lot of kids get disconnected here first, and then they're here and they're getting around the ball, rolling. So there's that too. You mentioned in college you try to stay inside the ball. I find sometimes you're trying to hit inside the ball. I mean,
right?
You know, if you're rolling too.
Yep. Are you saying like this move here?
No, they automatically get away from their body, right? Disconnected instead of staying inside.
Staying inside.
That's a common thing I see, at least at the youth side.
Because there they feel that it's more their hands have to get to the ball. Now if we're trying to do damage, yeah, it makes sense. Okay. I like to say back hip, right shoulder, right hip leads the swing. So especially from this loaded launch position, back here, feel right shoulder, right hip, get that rotation here, and then be able to kind of stay this strong 45 here. And this is another good dry work drill. Gives you that loaded position. If they want to push off here, they'll see the bat go over to right field. How do you get that more squared up towards center field? And they cast out, they're not even going to hit the tee right there. And then with the ball on there, kind of the same thing. Deeper. Yeah, deeper. And a lot of, between swings, it's okay to take, like, try to find your feel. Like guys who are trying to find their load, stop every once in a while. Like if they're here, like just say, all right, show me you're pushing against a couple times. Do it 2 or 3 times where you're fake throwing. They're here over and over again. Then that first one is normally really good because they're feeling that push against with their load, and then they're swinging with that. So really preach the dry stuff, as boring as it is, but it really helps the kids understand where their body's at with swinging fully through it. Another trick, kind of going back to what you were saying, Jeff, with like that casting, very mental, but if you have a kid who's always hitting the inside part of the bat, so kind of like that casting out part, tell them to try to hit the end of the bat. More times than not, that I've found is it'll be barreled. They'll keep their hands inside right where they need to be, and everything will come through there. Same with hitting off the end of the bat, where they pull inside too much or too tight, congested. They'll barrel the ones up when they're trying to hit the end of the bat. No, inside part of the bat.
I think the easy catches too, watch where they land. I see a lot of kids that'll land and they just land here, and then they just automatically, that's tough. So it's just, at the end of the day, it's linear. You know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's where, like having the lines, like staying on the lines in there off the tee, off of flips, and then adjusting where the plate is. That's just where their body just wants to open up front side so much that they're getting here and it's starting to open up their front foot. So the bat's way back here. Tell them they're just doing like close 45s just to get their body used to being restricted is a good idea. Because here it's so open and free. Like in the swing, throwing too, like that front hip needs to stop you at some point. Then that loading forward just over and over again. Drive. Even I saw some today, but they had put a bucket behind some of the hitters so when they stepped open, it's not going to hurt them, but it's just that reinforcement for where they want to go. Then it kind of comes back to that pressure with the feet. Like if the feet are pushing this way, I found it's tough for them to open, way, open up too much, but just land forward with their load. With the kids who have the crazy loads, toning it down is probably a good idea, but really telling them they got to practice their load even more than everybody else. Like keeping the big leg kick, but making sure that they're in that consistent position, no matter who the pitcher is, fast, slow. They're getting there every time. Choking up. Yep. Choking up. Our rule of thumb was bottom hand is direction down. As it comes up, your barrel's toast. So this one just down. Because then the top hand, direction, the top hand is the one that's going to power it through. And this one should be more middle. For the barrel dumpers, the kids, you can ask them too, like, where are you trying to hit it? If they say straight up, just tell them to aim for the bottom of the L string. That should fly out their swing pretty good. Some kids will want to go like that right away, but tell them full swing, aim at the bottom of the L string. Typically, the next few swings are pretty flat with good line drives. Even if they miss it, it's a different angle of staying above the ball. High T's good too for those guys. Like it's alright to feel choppy. Like that's no legs. But when you add your legs, it turns into more on line, slightly up. But when I was told to swing down, I didn't really understand it. I thought it literally meant like here. But when the lower half works the way it needs to, the hands feel like they're coming down here. I like A-Rod. It all turns into getting our plan right. It's just we don't want to get our barrel below the ball and try to get lucky and work up through the ball. So high T's a good drill for the guys who just consistently on top of the net.
I find that's a hard one is when they drop hands right away and they try to scoop.
Yeah.
Juan Soto has a good video about best advice he has says for kids is get on top of the ball. And like you said, though, a lot of people think this then instead
You'll
of
see
staying
Soto
through
do
it,
this.
right?
Soto will do this a lot.
Yep.
He does a drill with that. But he's lower body.
Right.
He's palm up, palm down. And then kind of going towards that. With the hands dropping, probably a lot of that. High T, make them chop it. If they get down underneath, they're gonna crush the tee. But make them feel above the ball. With our 8-year-olds, first we did machine right away. Everybody was underneath it. Next round, had everybody try to swing over top of it. That round was a lot better. And now they're just getting used to the weight of the bat. So like I'm telling them, hard grounders, I'm perfectly fine with. I mean, even for like the older kids, 18-year-olds, I was telling that. But it's just a mentality change where we're not going to get a perfect line drive every time. But if we just manage our misses to where aim for the middle and get under it a little bit, line drive over the outfielder's head, and then get on top a little bit, hard line drive, hard ground ball through the hole. With the hands dropping, you could see some kids, like the back knee collapsing really quick. I think a lot of kids do this part, so like the hands kind of go here, then they have to work up more. Watch their back knee. Like some kids, it'll kind of stay a little bit in here, or when they load, you'll see some daylight between the back foot, and then it'll really collapse. That's where the no feet drill, staying here and strong, is a really good one because it's kind of forcing them to keep their legs open. And then as they get used to that, you'll see a couple swings in, like it'll kind of turn into that, which is kind of what you want. It's the back hip pulling around the back foot rather than the right foot spinning. It's like keeping that traction, keep that anchor through the backside, through the right foot to be able to stay back, stay on top of the ball, above the ball, and be able to work down.
Hey, you got any cues from the Wayne State hood?
especially young kids, struggle to utilize their lower half a lot. So we'll do it in practice sometimes when they take the PVC pipe behind their back so they can really feel their hips come through. Kind of preach a lot, show the picture of your belt buckle for the really young kids so it forces them to use their hips. Really preach it doesn't matter, I guess, where your hands start. It's if you end up in a strong position and your knobs are the catcher. It gets you into a really strong hand position, but that's really about all I got.
I think just how we communicate with the kids. My head coach at Illinois, he's actually coaching the 18U USA team this upcoming summer. He's been with them for a while now.